Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have another big step when it comes to the GameStop saga, where now apparently GameStop stores are literally getting robbed once again. We're now having thieves, we're having people taking out GameStop, and it's kind of been a sad news because I haven't been hearing too much news in terms of like a Walmart or a Best Buy just getting completely robbed, but it does seem like GameStop's in a pretty big attention point when it comes to thieves or employees stealing stuff. You guys actually may have even seen on my channel, we had a video that quite a few different people had a chance to see where GameStop employees were literally robbing the stores right in front of them and then also getting caught. Now this one is a little bit different because now we're seeing a group of thieves now making out with PlayStation 5 consoles, not like that kind of way, but basically going and stealing stuff. We're going to talk about this, talk about the drama, and talk about the fact that even with all this ongoing, we're still actually seeing GameStop trying their best to go truck on through and get some sales. So let's go talk about this lovely and kind of somewhat strange story too as well. And of course, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the brand new Samsung pre-order. We're working with Samsung to promote. So want to check out that how link down below in the description or the comments. Twitter and Twitch stream down below if you guys want to follow. And of course, the Target, Amazon links too. And let's dive into the video. So as I mentioned, we've been seeing some robberies. We've been seeing like scalpers trying to steal stuff. We've had people literally break into homes, and now GameStop is another one of these targets. Now, typically for me, I feel like if I ever wanted to rob something, I'd probably do like a jewelry store or maybe something a little bit more in depth, but apparently now consoles and these huge pellets of consoles have now been taken. So let's go talk about this, where thieves make off with now PlayStation 5 consoles in Lehigh Valley in the ongoing GameStop robbery. So kind of crazy to see. Police as of now are looking for two men they say robbed a Lehigh Valley GameStop store on Tuesday night and took off with Sony PlayStation 5 consoles. So basically these guys are coming on in because they know that PlayStations, Xboxes, all these types of things do move product very quickly. It's kind of a big reason why these thieves keep on happening when it comes to scalpers or people meeting up on like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, etc. Because they know like these things can be moved very quickly. It takes them maybe like within a day, it can be in someone else's hands. Now, maybe even for my case of a jewelry store, yeah, you might go and make theoretical $50,000, $10,000, $5,000 on like a nice piece of jewelry. But at the end of the day, like number one, those are a lot more unique. And number two, they typically like can be found, like if you go to a pawn shop, they're gonna be like, why are you selling 7 things of jewelry? You know, if you're on Facebook Marketplace and common folks can sell stuff, it makes things a little bit easier. So the robbery was reported a little after 8 p.m. on Tuesday at the GameStop in the Northampton Crossings Shopping Center in Lower Nazareth Township. Colonial Regional Police said the store closes at 8 p.m. during the week, which is pretty much when this robbery went by. So basically it was like right after 8 o'clock, they tried their best to go on in. So two men came into the store and then posed as customers, asking about a product that was in stock in the back of the store, aka all the PlayStation consoles then too as well. So that's, I think, trying to go be like, hey, like we have expensive stuff, GPUs, PlayStations, whatever in the back. So when an employee went back to get the item, the pair followed him and told him not to move or something bad would happen. Munch said they did not produce a weapon, thankfully, so it looks like the employee themselves still like is okay. I'm sure that's probably, you'd still probably be a little bit shaken up after seeing all this. It just doesn't seem like a fun situation, but yeah. So then as they went and said, the pair stole 10, basically like entire pallet, 10 PlayStation 5 video game consoles. A very console, I'm sure you guys know if you guys watch my channel or are subscribed, that retails at $500 each. Thankfully, no money was taken, Munch said. Colonial Regional Police are looking for the suspects and plan to review surveillance footage as part of the investigation. And I mean, I'm sure none of you guys probably know info. I mean, it'd be probably a pretty cool like Reddit story if someone in my random YouTube comment saw this, but if you guys care, there's the phone number to help them on out. So basically, we're now seeing GameStop stores physically just being walked on in and robbed. So as I mentioned too, we had a pretty viral story that happened up on the channel about a month ago or so, or maybe some of you guys even found my channel from that, and they literally had it where GameStop employees themselves were like slowly siphoning out of funds. They had like, we're taking iPhones, they're taking consoles, or like Switches, or they'd do like a weird kind of like a refund where they're basically getting like a free debit card type money type system. Hard to explain, but that's kind of what was ongoing. And as they were doing this, basically, like, people are just taking money from GameStop. And now we're seeing people who are just taking loads of pallets, like 10 consoles. And that leads me to just more of like the thinking about this type thing. How do you steal 10 different consoles? Now, don't forget, these things are big. Like, these PlayStation 5s by themselves, normal individual consoles, are kind of heavy, kind of big. But then you have these big boxes that are filled, and that's 10 of them. Like, there is no way I can hold probably more than, I'd say more than 2 boxes on top of each other. And even then, just imagine how awkward it is to waddle outside of, like, the door. You gotta do the awkward, like, body push with like the door itself. It seems very awkward just to even imagine. It's like, did one person just keep on renting their car? Did they pull the car up to the store? Like, this is the type of juicy stuff I wish I could see. Like, obviously I don't want things to get robbed or people get scared or have to like involve police or whatever, but I just want to know, like, how is their system? Like, how do they formulate actually taking the consoles? Like, do they put it all in their trunk when they're in the back seat? Like, am I just weird for wanting to know how this stuff ends up at the end of the day? That's just not how my thought process kind of works. So we've now been just apparently seeing GameStop stores now getting robbed. And 10 consoles, that's nothing to scuff at. Like, we've been seeing like this around like 5 to 15 mark or so when it does come to consoles for a while. Mainly because, well, those are just kind of big numbers. We know, like, that's a good restock. We've been seeing GameStop stores getting stock very consistently. Where even as of like literally 2 hours ago, by the time I'm making this video, they even are tweeting out about this. So hopefully none of these stores end up getting robbed. There is no better time than now, right now, to grab a PS5, especially with a bunch of great games coming out this year. Oh, and guess what? We happen to have them in stock right now, too. So, like, even with all this stuff ongoing, even here in these stores getting literally robbed of 10 plus consoles, you wanna know what? GameStop, it's just doesn't really care. They're just like, hey, yo, buy some of our consoles. They got the little cute gifts and everything, too. I'm not even sure, like, really it's just this. I'm sure some intern randomly made this when they're on like a $15 an hour job, just chilling. But you want to what? If it's there, it's there, and then just goes leads them towards the online drop. As I'm sure a lot of you guys know, these are been pretty common up in stores. So I guess this is another new thing we have to worry about. We've had a lot of restock issues and general stock availability issues that have thankfully been kind of working themselves on through and kind of, you know, just being more normalized. But now the bigger issue is just people literally just stealing from GameStop. Now, we've also had other instances too throughout the year where like Target themselves has said that like theft has gone up extremely high, where people, either employees or also just people walking the stores, keep on, well, just taking stuff. Like, they keep on literally robbing and taking the stuff from these people. It's kind of crazy to see. So now this is another added one on the list. So maybe they should have it locked behind bars. I mean, does it really, if it's literally just one individual store, is it really needed that bad? Probably not. Like, it's probably just an isolated incident, but like, I'm sure this is happening all the time. Like, that's a lot. That's $5,000. I mean, I'm also kind of curious too if these people are just trying to go and sell them. Like, what do you do with the stock? Do they just go instantly go and have like one of those weird scalping photos and throw it up on like Facebook or Craigslist or eBay, and they try their best to just chuck them on out and see who kind of bites? Like, this is always the internal stuff I want to know about when it comes to consoles and people getting their consoles and all of that. So guys, be careful, I guess, if you guys are GameStop employees or even, you know, Walmart, Target, Best Buy employees, because these are still big in-demand objects. Even if they're readily available, they are still expensive, and as the economy kind of keeps them kind of fluctuating up a little bit more, it does make things a little bit maybe more enticing for folks to want to try to steal and, you know, be scary. Now, once again, this is just an isolated incident, so if you're working at all these places, I'm sure you're hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll be fine, but it still is out there enough, so just be careful. But yeah, guys, if you guys have any information, I guess, and want to let GameStop know, make sure you guys yourselves don't rob any GameStop stores. I don't want you guys ending up in jail. I mean, $5,000 between two people, I'm sure it's a very, very tempting offer, don't get me wrong. But just make sure you guys are careful. Make sure you guys don't rob your Targets or your GameStop stores or anything in between. Please just don't do that. Or if you guys need to, they do have online order, in-store pickups, or as you guys can even tell by the article, sometimes these stores just literally have stock inside. You know, just literally call or walk on in and ask and say, hey, can I buy a PlayStation? And a lot of these places are now getting stock somewhat consistently, so you don't have to literally go and rob it. But yep, apparently GameStop stores, they're getting hit, so be careful. And also make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, we do have the brand new Howl Samsung links down below for all the pre-orders, so check those on out. Twitter and Twitch room down below, Target, Amazon links down below, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching here in the first place.